Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video where I've just had a really exciting delivery and I wanted to feature this whole video around this. It might be a very long process, but I'm super excited. So my friend Lynn, who is Aurora rattery, has sent us this agility set and I'm so excited. I've always wanted one. They hand make it themselves and I think now is the perfect time because Crumble, I think he's going to be really good at this. So this agility set is a 5-piece agility set. You can get this for £35 if you're able to collect from Scotland or from rat shows, or you can also get this posted for £40 if you live in the UK. So I will of course be leaving all of her details linked in the description, just in case you'd also like to pick up an agility set and you think this is something you'd like to try with your rats. But you can message her on her rattery Facebook page, which is just Aurora rattery, or you can also email her, which again I will leave linked in the description. But she does accept either bank transfer or PayPal, and I do recommend picking up one of these agility sets, especially if you have very active rats. It's going to be a really good way to get their energy out, and it's also going to be a nice thing to bond over with them too. So as I said, it does have 5 pieces in the set. You've got a seesaw, which is going to be really funny. You've got this one, which is a hurdle. I think this is going to be so funny to film them doing this in slow motion. This reminds me of horse jumping. Then you've also got this one. I think the name for this one is called a high jump. Not too sure, but this is going to be really funny as well. And then there's also this one, which I think this one is called a long jump, and they have to jump from this block to this block, which again should be really interesting. And then last but not least, you've got these weave poles. This might be the most trickiest one to train them to do. I've seen people train dogs to do it, but training rats is a whole other ball game, so we'll see how we go with this. So I'm just going to go ahead and start to paint this now whilst I talk you guys through a little bit more about the agility set and my plans on what to do with it. I wasn't too sure what colour scheme to go for, but I did have a quick look on her rattery page. She has a whole album dedicated to things other people have done with them, and I did take a lot of inspiration from that. So as you guys know, I do tend to have a blue and a green theme with my rats, and this agility set is no different. So they do try to use upcycled wood where possible, and all of the wood is sanded down just to make sure it's nice and soft on your rat's feet. There's no bits poking out or no nails poking out. But I am going to try to paint this. I'm just going to use the same kind of paint I used to do the paintings with my rats. And then after that I am going to seal it using Plasticoat, just to make sure it lasts as long as possible. You could also varnish this if you wanted to protect it after you paint it, or just to protect it in its natural wooden state. This though, I do recommend leaving this outside for about a week, or leaving it somewhere to dry for a week before you even introduce your rats to it, because varnish can have quite a strong smell, and with their sensitive respiratory systems, you don't want them anywhere near that. So if you are planning on varnishing it beforehand, just make sure you don't put it near your rats for at least a week. So the plan with this when it comes to training Crumble to do agility is to just take things as slow as possible. I am going to carry on with the target training. If you've not seen my last video where I target trained Crumble, we just worked on the basics of target training and he picked it up pretty quick. He did really well. So I'll leave that video linked in the description if you've not watched that one. But basically I just plan on carrying on with the target training, but adding in pieces of the agility set, probably one at a time, just to get him used to it and get him used to the idea of following the target over something to jump over, or getting him to follow it through something. So that's probably going to be the next step. So that's going to be the next step in this series of videos training Crumble. Make sure you have your notifications on and you're also subscribed to the channel, just to make sure you don't miss that video. It should be coming up in the next couple of weeks. We are going to work on this and film the process, and then the video should be up for you in the next couple of weeks. So as you can see, I'm just painting all of these separate pieces of the agility set. I got about halfway through and I just regretted using this paint. I'm using a water-based kids paint from Wilko's, and it just took me, I don't know how many coats of paint, but I used a lot of coats of paint and it still didn't really look how I wanted it to. So I do kind of regret using this paint, but I got halfway through and I'd already committed to using it. And I think at this point when I was painting this, the shops were still in lockdown. We couldn't go and get like paint and stuff. So I just had to use what I had at home, and I do kind of regret it. So I think in the future I might possibly sand this down and repaint it with a better paint. I was just really impatient. I really wanted to get this painted and sealed and start to do the training process with him. So possibly in the future I might repaint this just to make it look a bit nicer, because right now if you look really closely it's not my finest work and I'm not entirely happy with the way I painted it, but I was impatient and I wanted to get it done, and it will do for now. So after that, I'm just using some Plasticoat to seal the wood. This is just an enamel sealant, and I've used this in the past. I do really like it. I think it has a really nice result. You might possibly want to use a couple of coats of this, but I do recommend using this if you have wooden items with your rats and your mice that you want to last a very long time, just to protect it from their pee. Now obviously this is not something that's going to go directly in their cage all the time, and they're not going to be directly peeing on it a lot, but because rats do naturally scent mark, they are going to get tiny droplets of pee on this, and I wanted to protect it because I want it to last a long time. So that's why I think it's really important to have this step of adding on the Plasticoat, and I think I did about 1 layer. I managed to do all of the items in the set with about 1 tub of Plasticoat, so if you want to do a couple of layers, I do recommend possibly purchasing a couple of tubs. So the next step with this obviously is to start training him to use it. That will, as I said, be a separate video, but in this video I just wanted to capture his reaction. I think it is really important to introduce these items to him naturally without trying to train him at first, just to get him used to them and let him explore them on his own terms. So that's what these next clips are going to be. That is it for today's video. I hope you guys are excited to see Crumble possibly, hopefully doing agility within the next couple of videos. Thank you Lynn again for sending us this agility set, and don't forget, if you'd like to pick one up yourself, all of her information is linked down in the description. And of course don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys!